Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Natasya Amylia binti Muhammad Asri 284820 and my page is Nadia binti Mohamad 285539. So our topic is inoculation theory. The founder of inoculation theory. The founder of inoculation theory is William J. McGurk. Born in 1948 in Troy, New York, nationality is American. He studied at University of Texas at Austin, BA in 1917. Got 50 best CEOs in America. McGurk expanded United Health Group to the point where it offered a variety of healthcare plans. Story behind. In 1961, William McGurk, a social psychologist, developed attitude inoculation, a methodology for arming an individual with sociological technique for defending against unwanted arguments or to defend their belief. Consider it like vaccination. Vaccination is a weak foreign substance to the body and immune response, provide future protection against stronger disease. Inoculation theory works the same way but with ideas like treat and preemptive refutation. Perspective. Okay, for the first perspective is positivistic. Post-positivistic is the idea that knowledge could be gained only through empirical, observable through the scientific method. McGurk suggests that attitude could be inoculated against viral attack. In medical immunization, weakened form of virus are injected into the body and the body reacts to the injection through cell adaptation. They protect the body from future attack from stronger version of virus. Second perspective, interpretive. Interpretive perspective is an approach viewing truth as subjective and stressing the participation of the researcher. Example, George Compton and Michael Pfeffer, who do research about this theory, say this theory is a mature theory and was far from retiring. Researchers continue to propel inoculation theory, scholarship forward in quantity and theory gap. Third perspective, critical. In the critical approach, it is an understanding of knowledge relates to power to change the status quo. So the people who have power in this inoculation theory is McGurk. He created this inoculation theory because want to help people like persuade their false belief to the true one and help people with some disease. He expanded his real system model with medical analogy, noting how persuasion inoculation paralyzed medical inoculation. Example, an annual flu shot. Last perspective is normative. A normative approach explains how a media system should operate in order to conform to or realize a set of ideal social values. Example, McGurk showed interest to create this theory based on value that he found in medical research, as cure and encourage a high belief in individual.
Hi, I'm Nadia. I will present about optional exposure. What is optional exposure? According to William J. McGuire, where a person has been given exposure to make objection, but the individual does not have the strength to fight back. It is an attitude that is rarely false, where an individual's body is easily affected by virus. Okay, number 2 is the concept of cultural tourism. The cultural tourism is a belief that is not affected by a factor. Most all society and individuals does not have a strength to get motivation from other people to defend something. Individual like this is easier to persuade because they don't have the strength to defend something they face. Okay, next is truth reference. Inoculation theory takes the concept of vaccination where we are exposed to a weak form of virus in order to build immunity to the real virus and apply it to knowledge. Half a century of research has found that when we are exposed to a week of misinformation, this helps us build resistance so that we are not influenced by actual misinformation. Principle of the theory is this theory has to explain how attitude or belief can be detected through persuasion from anyone without influence by any. Okay, the second is the theory that has been created he indirectly instilled the spirit in the community to not easily believe something without a motion to check. Okay, now number one is trick. What is trick? Trick is the message. Reservoir must interpret that is a message is actually written and recognize that there is a reason to fight, to maintain and straighten their opinion. If the reservoir of an opposing message does not recognize that a threat is present, they will not feel the need to start defending their position, and therefore will not be change their attitude or straighten their opinion. Okay, next is refutational in preemption. Provides specific content that reservoirs can employ to straighten attitudes against subsequent change. This aids in the inoculation process by giving the message reservoir a chance to argue with the opposing message. It shows the message reservoir that their attitude is not the only attitude or even the right attitude, creating a threat to their belief. There has been much debate on whether or not there is a certain amount of the time necessary between inoculation and further attacks on a person's attitude that will be most effective in strengthening the person's attitude. McGuire suggested that delay was necessary in strengthening a person's attitude, and since then many scholars have found evidence to back that idea up. So last is involvement. This element is important because an individual involvement with an issues determine how effective the inoculation process will be. If an individual has no involvement or interest in the subject, they are not going to perceive a threat towards their attitude, and therefore will not feel the threat to defend and straighten their original opinion. Making the inoculation process will be useless.